Have you seen being this close? I mean, your store literally backs up to the Roosevelt Hotel.
That's right.
What have you witnessed?
It's really horrible. Horrible with children, kids, babies, mothers, fathers sitting on the floor. They don't know what they're doing. It's not even affecting just this business. It's affecting all the businesses around this area.
What do you think of the city spending $225 million to house these migrants here?
First of all, that's a crazy number. I mean, city needs those money elsewhere, no doubt. Why does New York owe this to the rest of the United States for this to pay that bill? That I don't know. This should definitely be dealt differently.
I'm going to tell you what I feel about this. We have homeless vets here in this city and state, and we're not even taking care of our own people. I believe in helping everybody, but how do we go about helping other people when we're...
Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. The quick clip that I just showed you is something that came out about a year ago when a Fox reporter was out in New York asking the people in New York questions about migrants being housed in New York, and in particular about them being housed at the Roosevelt Hotel. Now, I put a video out 2 days ago, I believe yesterday or 2 days ago, and I was very surprised that I didn't get that many views. And also I put out a short last night, but we're going to get into that. I'm going to show you guys a couple of things, and it was pertaining to the whole deal with $220 million going to Pakistan, okay, because supposedly they're the ones that own the hotel. Okay, so we're going to jump into a couple of things right quick. It's not going to be a long video, but it started dawning on me. I did get some good feedback in the comment section and all that, but there was some other stuff that I came across. Okay, and this is what I'm saying, and I was talking about the money laundering scheme. Okay, I brought that up about how money is being used to help out everyone else except Americans. Okay, and I found out some interesting facts, and if you're from New York, I'd like you to watch this video and send it to everyone that you know in New York. Okay, whoever has YouTube, who is fed up with this nonsense, because you're gonna check out, exactly what it is I'm trying to say. How they are, they are taking so much money, okay, to basically fund other countries. Okay, when this money rightfully belongs to the American people, and the American people are suffering. Okay, regardless of what leftist shows are out there putting out content talking about that the economy's great, whatever the case is, don't listen to those people. I mean, listen, you all know what has been going on financially, okay, in your households for the past 4 years. So listening to all these other leftists, talking about that the economy's going great, that the consensus say, or that, the records come out that the economy's up and booming, whatever. No, it's not. Okay, it's just not. And it's getting to the point that it's like, you people actually think that the majority of Americans are really that stupid to not, want to know what's going on. That they're being just as blind as you, and they're not. They feel it in their pockets, they feel it in their households, they feel it at work. They feel it in everyday life. Okay? A simple trip to the grocery store, they feel it there. But yet, when you have people like Adams and Biden and HOCHUL and the rest of them, in Chicago and Colorado, California, working in cahoots, what they're actually doing, which you all know, they're not helping Americans, okay? They're just not. That little clip I just showed you, those were business owners, okay? And obviously, they had some broken down English, but, these are business owners from other countries. So that whole racist narrative goes out the window, okay, about Americans being racist. But you hear them complaining. You hear them complaining of how this major influx, it's affecting their businesses. Meanwhile, the left is over here giving, all this money to all these illegals, saying that they're trying to give them the American dream. But what about, the ones that are here trying to achieve the American dream. You're infringing on their space. Okay? So, after, thinking some more about the video that I put out, somebody emailed me a question, and I had to look up some more information, because being that the Roosevelt Hotel is owned by Pakistan, there was a question that was brought up of something that was mentioned, that it's supposedly an airline company that owns the Roosevelt Hotel. Okay? So I started doing some research. Okay? So I looked up how many airlines are in Pakistan, and it says there's 20 airlines in Pakistan. Okay? And we all know, like in America, a lot of airlines are owned by private LLCs, private companies that own them. Okay? But it says there are 20 airlines operating in Pakistan, with Pakistan International Airlines having the most flights. So when I seen this, I said, okay, let's see how far down this rabbit hole I can go, just by reading this, where it says that Pakistan International Airlines, okay, has the most flights, which tells me that's the biggest airline. So I was like, you know what, then let's see, what this airline's all about. Okay, so I just started, doing some research, and I was like, who are all the airlines? Okay, all the Pakistani airlines, there's 20 of them, and these are the names, which is Air Blue, Shaheen Air, Pakistan International Airline, Pearl Air, Askari Aviation, Vision, and it goes on. It's like all the 20. But then I realized, I was like, okay, Pakistan International Airlines is in the top 3. Okay, so I decided to look up who this is, and here it shows up, Pakistan International Airlines, and I was like, okay, it's one of the biggest. Okay, they have a lot of clout, meaning that they deal with a lot of flights and all that. So then I was like, well, you know what? So then if they were paid $220 million, because supposedly they're the ones that own the Roosevelt Hotel. Okay, the Pakistan International Airlines has leased one of its most valuable assets, the iconic Roosevelt Hotel in New York, to the city's administration for the sum of $220 million. Okay, and I'm like, well then, it doesn't sound right to me. It just doesn't sound right. I mean, for this one airline to own something that can make that much money, okay, to rent it out. And it's like, here we are, Americans, they're taking our taxpayer money and they're paying a big conglomerate in another country, okay, to house illegals that are coming into the country illegally. Okay? And that's why I keep saying that this whole thing it's like a damn money laundering scheme. They're just taking hundreds of millions of dollars and they're feeding it, all right, to pay other entities outside of the United States, while Americans are suffering. Okay? So I started digging a little deeper. Come to find out that Pakistan International Airlines, like I said, and like the Harris Faulkner said, okay, is an international airline which is the government-owned flag carrier of Pakistan. So it's true. Okay? The government of Pakistan owns the Roosevelt Hotel. So we are paying, New Yorkers are paying first and foremost, okay, out of their taxpayer money that should be going to their neighborhoods, should be helping out the less fortunate in New York, okay, where New Yorkers should be getting tax breaks at least. Adams and Biden and them, they're taking that money to go and house illegal migrants, okay, at the Roosevelt Hotel. But it gets better, because, you look at all this money and you're thinking, that's a lot of money to fit all these illegal migrants. But I did a little more searching, okay, to try to figure things out, and I'm like, you know what? I don't think it stops there. I really don't think it stops there. Okay? There's got to be more to it because there is way too much money still being laundered around, for lack of a better term, okay, around New York City, the boroughs, okay? I mean, hell, New York State for that matter. Not just for housing, but for other things. Okay, so then I wind up coming across, I'm doing things a little different today, people, just for sake of time. I came across this article put out by First Post, and this was put out last year. Okay? Now, check this out. Pakistan wants to demolish that hotel. Okay, they wanted to demolish it. And there's something key in this article that I read that made me go down this rabbit hole a little bit, so that I can show you, you people, whoever's watching, whoever, especially in New York if you care, how much is actually costing, okay, and how much money these people are making, okay? This is the Pakistan International Airline, which owns the Roosevelt Hotel in New York, reportedly seeks to demolish the iconic structure to build a new hotel. This comes amid the financial woes of Pakistan's flag carrier, which is likely to undergo privatization. Okay? It says the iconic Roosevelt Hotel in New York is staring at a possible demolition. Owned by the Pakistan International Airlines (PIA), the house has been used as a welcome center and shelter for migrants by the New York City administration since May. As per a report in the Pakistan Daily Dawn, the PIA wants to raze down the iconic structure in New York City to build a new hotel through a joint venture. This comes amid Pakistan's economic woes and financial troubles afflicting the airlines. So let me get this straight. Okay? Pakistan, okay? It says right here, this comes amid Pakistan's economic woes and financial troubles afflicting the airline. So since something in their country is suffering, a government-owned entity is suffering, okay, they're going to take it upon themselves to go, after they say they want to demolish this hotel in order to build a new one. You would think that Adams or whoever was in charge of the purse would say, you know what? Like he's always saying, that his first thing is to help Americans first, to deal with New Yorkers first. That's his first obligation. No, he decides to go, and pay attention to this, because you seen on my video yesterday, okay, that he went to Turkey because he's trying to help Turkey build their consulate. But it seems, out of all the places, okay, that he could have house these migrants, or even better, maybe just save New York taxpayer money and just send them back, okay, the way he's claiming now that he's going to do, but he's going to start with the criminals first. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. You would think that he'd say, no, if Pakistan's in trouble financially, why would I want to enrich them with New York City taxpayer money? Does anybody, does this not look right to anybody? Because it just seems, I know for a fact, I was born and raised in the Bronx, and I was basically born and raised the first 15 years of my life in the South Bronx. And when I tell you that Southern Boulevard, 3rd Avenue, 153rd in Brook, 152nd in Brook, Tinton Avenue, Fox Street, when I tell you that these places were run down for decades, I wonder how many millions of dollars New York City has put into those neighborhoods to revitalize them. Okay? Not to mention, I get word from people back home that Fordham Road, okay, looks like a damn shithole. Oh, I grew up around Fordham Road also, the Grand Concourse, Webster Avenue, you name it. I grew up, there's not a spot in New York that I don't know. Okay? Especially the Bronx. So you tell me how all this makes sense. Because it just seems like Adams just cannot stop doing, I don't know, seems more like real estate dealings, okay, with foreign entities. We're going to read some more. Here we go. Let me plug this in. Seems like my battery's dying. Because you're going to find something interesting here. It talks about how Pakistan wind up owning the hotel. We don't need to go through that. It was a deal done a long time ago. Okay. What I found, you know, that caught my attention here, because I was like, okay, you know what? $220 million to house migrants. How does that work? Okay. So looking further down in this article, it says, where is it about? Right about here. It says PIA comes into the picture. The Pakistani government-run PIA entered the picture in 1978 when American real estate mogul Paul Mistine, I guess I'm pronouncing it right, bought the hotel. He then leased the hotel to PIA's investment arm, PIA Investment Limited. As per the Indian Express report, Pakistan's flag carrier had joined hands with Saudi Prince, okay, Faisal bin Khalid bin Abdulaziz Al Saud to bag the roughly $35 million deal after the lease expired in 20 years. They had the option to buy the hotel for $36.5 million, the report added. For the initial decade and a half of the lease, the hotel started making losses under the PIA. However, remember, the hotel started making losses under the Pakistani International Airlines. However, after renovations, the hotel finally started raking in money, leading to the airline opting for the option to purchase the building in 1998. The PIA has been the sole owner of the renowned Manhattan Hotel since buying Al Saud's stake in 2005 as per Indian Express. Now here's my question. I have many questions about this. Okay. So many people talk about that besides all the illegals. Let's get all the illegal immigrants out of the way. Okay. There are so many homeless people in New York. Okay. And there's always the question about, is there enough money in the budget to help them? No. Okay, that's usually it. We can only do with so much. No. But now, not only did Adams and HOCHUL and the rest of them were able to allocate and find money to house migrants, how ironic that they pick a hotel, okay, that cannot be financially taken care of by the owner, who is the government of another country. How does that work? And people wonder why. I shouldn't say people wonder why. Well, maybe I'll say people wonder why. Because I'm wondering how, I should say in what way, is Adams doing dealings with Turkey, because we all know what's going on with that Turkey consulate that they want open, or whatever the case is. But it seems, okay, that Adams is basically doing, if you think about it, real estate deals. Because now Pakistan says they want to demolish the hotel because they want to build a new one. Okay? But then that was scratched out of the way. They decided to reopen it. COVID shut it down. I believe I read that. Okay? I didn't get to that. But we'll go on a little more. So they took some losses. But if their own government and their own airlines that is government owned didn't have the money to just revitalize their own hotel, why oh why would Adams want to help them with New York City taxpayer money? You know, all he had to do was say, you know what? All he had to do was knock on his boss's door, Biden, and say, listen, we can't do this with the migrants. Sorry, we got nowhere to put them. No, he decided to find a outside government entity that needed help with their problems. How many governments around the world, people, give Americans money to help them with their problems? I'm just curious, because I have yet to hear of one. Okay? I know a lot of people that own real estate, and I've never heard of them saying they got a check from a outside government outside the United States to help them with their mortgage payments or anything like that. Let's read a little more. It says a representative of Pakistan's aviation division told the Senate Standing Committee on Aviation on Wednesday, December 6th, about PIA's intention to demolish the hotel, reported Dawn. This comes after the airline leased the hotel. Now check this out, okay? This comes after the airline leased the hotel to the New York City administration in June for 3 years for $220 million. A contract was signed for 1,250 rooms. The hotel will be returned to the government of Pakistan once the 3-year term lease expires. The then Minister of Railways and Aviation, whatever, blah, 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 said at the time as per CEO News. So, they took $220 million of New York City taxpayer money. They leased a hotel to help a defunct airline that's owned by the Pakistani government. And after that, just so they can house illegal migrants for 3 years, after they get that, the hotel will be returned back to the Pakistani government. They'll be $220 million richer. They'll tear down an iconic hotel in New York to build up one of their hotels. And that, my friends, is what you call laundering 101. Some people may say, well, that's business. Yeah. On the backs of the American taxpayer. While we're struggling. While people in New York are struggling. It gets a little better. I did a little bit of math. Okay? And please, if you're from New York, leave it in the comments. Tell me how much rent you pay. Because I did a little bit of math here. Okay? For the 1,250 rooms that are being rented for 3 years at $220 million, okay, that comes out to $176,000 per room. You break all that up for 3 years as if they're paying rent per room to Pakistan, it comes out to $4,890 per month per room. Not apartment, per room. That's being paid out to Pakistan to house illegal migrants in New York. And now Adams wants to play ball with Trump as if everything is everything. If anybody watches this video in New York, I think you people need to have a recall and oust Adams and Kathy Hochul. And in my opinion, in all honesty, I think that Roosevelt Hotel needs to be boycotted big time. This is horrible that people in New York are paying thousands of dollars for rent. Okay? They can't get no tax breaks other than whatever little crumbs the Democrats want to give them. But yet they'll go and take all this money to go and pay for, and this is just to pay for the rooms, people. Just for the rooms. This doesn't include, okay, the food stamps, the extra cash, the medical, okay, and all the other little perks that they're giving all these illegals. And God only knows whoever they're doing business with to provide those services, who they're connected with. So it seems like Adams is over there in Turkey trying to schmooze with the Turkish to open up a Turkish consulate. Now he's also paying Pakistan money that supposedly, I mean, is not that hard to find. It's not like, you know, they're hiding the fact that they own the airline, but the airline's the one that owns the hotel right now, but the hotel after 3 years is going back to, no matter what, the Pakistani government or the airline, which is still the same thing, because the Pakistan government owns the airline. While the whole time, okay, people in New York are still struggling. And what are they paying? What are you guys paying for rent? I mean, I've heard some people. I heard a story of a lady in New York. She went to go rent out. It was a 2-bedroom. Okay, I believe it was out in Brooklyn. Okay. She said by the time she could get all the money together, because I don't know how it goes now anymore, but I believe it was 2 months down, 2 months security, whatever the hell it was. Okay, it was $11,500 to move in. Oh no, I'm sorry, $13,500 to move in. That's a down payment. I remember, and it probably still is in many places. That's a down payment on a damn house. But you're taking New York City taxpayer money and you're paying the Pakistani government nearly $5,000 a month for a damn room to house illegals? This is insane, people. But it gets better, and I'll end the video with what Biden is up to, okay? As if there's not enough salt on these open wounds, okay? Like, as if there's not enough people suffering in America, Americans, that need financial help. You know, before I get to the video, I just want to say this. Now, I didn't do all the math with the whole $220 million, but let's just say, I wonder how much of that money Adams could have taken and looked at Biden and say, you know what, this is a lot of money. We don't want the illegals here. How about I go and give everybody in New York, I don't know, $100 tax break or something towards their rent, whatever. Excuse my phone, it's on the other side. And I wonder how much of a difference that would have made just for the average person in New York. You know, a couple of Metro cards, you know, just to help people out of New York. Come get your free Metro card. I don't know, just something. That's just for starters, $220 million. Okay? I wonder how much more he could have did given that money just back to the New York taxpayers. Okay? And these Democrats wonder why they lost. But to end the video, and again, I apologize for my phone going off. Let's go see what Biden is doing. Okay? Because supposedly Biden went on a trip to Africa. And, you know, once again, instead of helping out Americans, okay, he wants to help the people in Africa who are dealing with catastrophes. And it makes you wonder, you still have not yet gone, okay, to walk around North Carolina, help out the Americans there, but you're on your way to Africa, or you went to Africa, and you're offering them money, and a lot of money at that. Let's go.
Being all in on Africa means making sure African voices are heard at the tables that matter most. Under my leadership in the United States, we brought in the African Union as a permanent member of the G20 economies. And we insisted a more African representation among the leaders of the International Monetary Fund and other world financial institutions. We've also pushed to ensure that developing nations do not have to choose between paying down unsustainable debt and being able to invest in their own people.
I like the way he says that. I'm going to repeat that. Check this out. I'm going to replay it. Let him repeat that.
Choose between paying debt and other world financial institutions. We've also pushed to ensure that developing nations do not have to choose between paying down unsustainable debt and being able to invest in their own people.
Really? He actually said that? Like, you're not even investing in Americans. And we're supposedly a very developed nation. So you take taxpayer money and go to another country that is rich in all kinds of resources imaginable, okay, where if they're overlords, okay, if they will stop fighting amongst themselves, can make Africa a rich nation. And no, I don't want to hear, oh, it's because people in America, people in Europe and all that are coming to do it, because although I do agree that there's a lot of corrupt companies that are sucking the resources out of Africa, but the African nations can get together and say no. Okay? But they don't. Because the ones in charge are just as corrupt and greedy. Okay? But check this out.
And we're using our own voice to increase Africa's presence in the UN Security Council at the United Nations. That should happen. You can clap for that, folks. You should be in there. The United States continues to be the world's largest provider of humanitarian aid and development assistance. And that's going to increase. You know, that's the right thing for the wealthiest nation in the world to do. And today, I'm announcing over $1 billion in new humanitarian support for Africans displaced from homes by historic droughts and food insecurity.
Wow. It's mind-boggling how this man can go to another country, vow to give them hundreds of millions of dollars, $1 billion, over $1 billion, to help them in their plight, to come out and say that he wants to help Africa so like that they can help their people so their people don't feel displaced or whatever the case is. Have you been back to North Carolina, Joe Biden? Have you been back to Hawaii, Joe Biden? Have you even been to some of the ghettos in America, Joe Biden? Do you even see what is it? Was it Kensington Street or Kensington Avenue in Pennsylvania, with all the drug addicts walking around like zombies out in broad daylight, 24 hours a day? Do you even see what's going on in your own country? You are going to go to another country and vow to give them billions of dollars to help out their less fortunate. What about the less fortunate here in America? Joe Biden. But yet, you got the transgender community in Tennessee in an uproar because the Supreme Court said no, okay, that they're going to stand with law officials in Tennessee so there's no kids that get any kind of transgender care, health care, because they think it's damaging. You'll find Biden and Harris and everybody and their mother in an uproar over that, but nobody's upset about the less fortunate in America, regardless if you're black, white, gay, straight, Republican, Democrat, Christian, Muslim, it doesn't matter. No, he's going to keep going and pandering and pandering and pandering. And the only reason why he's doing this, folks, okay, is because China is setting up shop in Africa. And he can't have that because he wants a piece of the pie too. It's incredible. It truly is.
We know African leaders and citizens are seeking more than just aid. You seek investment. So the United States is expanding our relationship all across Africa, from assistance to aid, to investment to trade, moving from patrons to partners.
Yeah. Right. So there you go. So you have this man in Africa over here making these deals, vowing to give billions of dollars to the people in Africa that are less fortunate. And check the, and then I was checking out the we'll get to some of the comments on this. This was put up by Bloomberg Television. Okay. It says, I am from Africa. Trust me, that money does not reach to the poor. Okay. It says we're not wealthy when we're trillions in debt and our citizens are struggling. Okay. Imagine what $1 billion could do to help our homeless people here in America. Meanwhile, Americans who survived Hurricane Helene are living in tents. Just so you know this is real, I'm going to give that one a thumbs up right there. Stop giving our tax dollars away. More money laundering. See, people? So you want to spend our taxpayer dollars to help people displaced in Africa. Meanwhile, we still have people in North Carolina living in tents from the hurricane with winter coming, but you say we don't have the money for that. That was 2 days ago. How many Americans are poor and homeless? Why are we paying Africa $1 billion of our tax dollars? No freaking way. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. People against this. You know, it's... I hear it so many times that people say that the Democrats are complacent or whatever the case is. No, they're not. They're just a bunch of money laundering, greedy shills, man. It just goes on and on and on. And I, for one, and I'll end the video, I, for one, believe this. Okay? Whatever deals Biden's going to do outside the country, he's the president, do what you got to do. Donald Trump's going to wind up squashing it anyway. Okay? But as far as the local stuff, like what the governors and mayors are doing, this is where the people that voted them in need to vote them out and demand their tax breaks and their money back and to clean up their streets. Okay? Specifically in New York. Okay? And you know what? I'm not even going to stay just in New York, but also Colorado, Chicago, Colorado, Minnesota, Michigan, wherever they're at, you people need to demand your tax money back. Okay? I mean, the rich can claim pretty much anything on their taxes. There's got to be a way for everybody to say, you know what? I need a bigger tax refund. Okay? Because it's just horrible that people are struggling to make ends meet, to pay their bills on time. And you got people like Biden going to Africa promising them more of our taxpayer money. And then you have people like Adams talking out both sides of his mouth, okay, grinning with the back of his teeth like a crocodile. And now that he's busted doing dealings with Turkey, now we see, okay, that he's in the real estate business. Now he wants to help out Pakistan save their precious hotel just so they can make a ton of money and probably, if I had to guess, still tear down the hotel and use that taxpayer money and build something that belongs to them, which is going to go and fund their government even more on more American taxpayer money when people spend their money and if they even build a hotel. This is insane, people. It's insane. But anyway, the video was long enough. Just a quick note after tonight's video. I got to work late a few nights. I won't be back on until maybe Monday, possibly Tuesday. So just check the video out, pass it around. Don't forget to subscribe. give it a thumbs up. Also, if you guys can something very, very quick, I want to show everyone. I usually don't do this, but just so everybody knows, which I don't understand what's going on, okay? But it seems like the short that I put out 2 nights ago got well over 1,500 views. The one I put out last night got 19 views, okay? The video that I put out about the situation got 70. All my views have been dropping, and obviously a lot of views have left me, okay, comments, and I'm hoping that with everybody seeing that you guys can pass the videos around, pass the channel around. Like I said, give it a thumbs up. Go to videos you haven't seen, check them out real quick, give the thumbs up, help this channel's videos get their algorithms up, people. Okay, it's up to you guys to help me to keep spreading this. Okay, and if you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. So remember, people, stay vigilant, keep praying for each other, keep praying for the women and the children, pray for this country, pray for your enemies, and pray for Donald Trump. Peace.